I'm Jason, UFC, and today we have a story about Demetrious Johnson considers Jon Jones the greatest of all time after capturing a second UFC division championship title. Demetrious Johnson still believes Jon Jones is the greatest of all time after becoming a two-division UFC champion. A former longtime light heavyweight champion, Jon Jones, 27-1 in MMA, 21-1 in the UFC, just needed just 2 minutes to claim the vacant heavyweight title when he submitted Cyril Gane last Saturday night at UFC 285. Demetrious Johnson, who is still is the current holder of the most consecutive title defenses in the UFC at 11, is in the conversation for of the greatest of all time. But when asked who does Demetrious Johnson consider the greatest of all time, Johnson says he still sees Jon Jones as number one. Yeah, I said it last time. I've always felt that from Jon Jones, Demetrious Johnson told TMZ. Jon Jones, what he did to Gane Saturday night, I mean, he took Gane down and choked Gane out. I truly believe Jon Jones could have done that at 205 pounds. Demetrious Johnson, the reigning undisputed one flyweight champion, acknowledges that out of all the greats, he's one of the few that haven't captured a belt in the second weight division during his UFC tenure. I had the longest consecutive title defenses, and I've also won 14 world title fights. Demetrious Johnson says, I believe he's at 15 now. You look at GSP, I think he took 4 years off and he fought in 2013 against Johnny Hendricks. Then he came back in 2017. He beat Michael Bisping, who was a middleweight champion. You look at Anderson Silva. We've all done amazing things in mixed martial arts. The one thing that separates those guys for me is those guys have gone up and competed and won a world championship in a different weight class, where I haven't. Henry Cejudo has even done it. Jon Jones has now done it. Randy Couture done it. The list goes on and on and on of all the guys who have done it, and that's one thing I haven't done. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, that's interesting that Demetrious Johnson is saying, even though he has the record for most consecutive title defenses, I guess he's kind of saying that he doesn't consider himself as one of the greatest of all time. That's a little bit surprising because he's the current flyweight champion in one championship, right? So, in a different weight class, but I mean, Jon Jones has never been a champion in a different organization, right? So if I'm obviously Demetrious Johnson, I'm keeping my name in that list. I think he still is. He's just putting over the fact that everyone else in that conversation, the Randy Coutures, the GSPs, and the Jon Jones of the world, they also went up from their weight class and won a title in a different division. I can respect that. I can understand that conversation. My whole problem with Demetrious Johnson is, I'm an MMA casual and I can't name anybody besides Henry Cejudo that Demetrious Johnson defeated. The reason why I consider Jon Jones the greatest of all time, and maybe even GSP, because if you look at their opponents, GSP defeated like Matt Hughes like twice. He defeated BJ Penn like twice. These are former UFC champions. Jon Jones, he's defeated Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans. He's defeated Lyoto Machida. He's defeated who else? Who else is on the list? Shogun. Who else did Jon Jones defeat? He defeated Daniel Cormier, right? Jon Jones has also defeated the current heavyweight champion in Bellator, Ryan Bader. Jon Jones has also defeated the current, I believe Brandon Vera is the current heavyweight champion in one championship, right? So Jon Jones, the reason why I consider him the greatest of all time, because he's defeated so many people that if you look at his list, a lot of the people he's defeated are gonna go into the Hall of Fame. That's a fact, right? One, a lot of people Jon Jones defeated were champions in the UFC, in other organizations, and then also a lot of the people that Jon Jones defeated went on to become champions, right? So it's just like the one X factor with all of those guys is that none of them could have beat Jon Jones, right? That's why I consider Jon Jones the greatest. The reason why I don't consider, Habib or Demetrious Johnson the greatest is because everyone they defeated, none of them went on to become champion. None of them were like champions before they fought, Demetrious Johnson. Or, obviously Demetrious Johnson defeated Henry Cejudo, and Cejudo went on to become, but that's just one person, right? If Brandon Vera, is the current heavyweight champion. Then Daniel Cormier, right? Before he fought Jon Jones, they gifted him the light heavyweight championship. Jon Jones defeated him. Then he went on, he defeated Stipe Miocic to become champion. Again, you know what I'm saying? So the reason why I consider Jon Jones the greatest of all time is because of the opponents he defeated, right? Everyone knows, most of the people Jon Jones defeated. No one can tell you many people of, that Habib defeated besides Conor. Many people can't tell, almost no one can tell you who Demetrious Johnson defeated in that 11 fight consecutive win streak. I can't tell you. I really can't. I know Cejudo's won. I think Ray Borg. It's like I have no idea. I have no idea who Demetrious Johnson defeated in that time. I think there was John Thompson in there, maybe, right? Probably that happened. But, for the most part, that's why I consider Jon Jones the greatest of all time. It's not the fact that he just, won the belt at heavyweight. That's a great thing. It's cool. But, defeating Rampage Jackson, defeating Rashad Evans, right? Defeating Lyoto Machida, defeating Ryan Bader, defeating Brandon Vera, defeating Daniel Cormier twice, defeating Alexander Gustafsson twice. These are people who I said will be in the UFC Hall of Fame. That's why, in my opinion, Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. But let me know your opinion of this story. Do you agree with me, myself, and Demetrious Johnson that Jon Jones is the greatest of all time? Or who is your greatest of all time and why? I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about Demetrious Johnson considers Jon Jones the greatest of all time after capturing a second division UFC title. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.